Good morning, family. This is Ricky, and welcome to Hope for Today. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. If you got that loved one and y'all gonna do your boo thing tonight, we wish you well. If you are riding solo in this season, or God has called you to ride solo for all seasons, I dare you to just hold on to yourself. And just have you a good time. You and Jesus, it's all good up in here, Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Let's go to the Bible. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 26. Ponder the path of your feet, then all your ways will be sure. One more time. Ponder the path of your feet, then all your ways will be sure. The Bible here, that word ponder means just to make it level, okay? And the whole idea is to make sure that there's sure footing and to make sure that you consider all of the places that you have to go to where you can know at which pace to move forward with your feet. The whole idea is that consider whether you need to slow down or speed up to make sure you're on pace with the Lord. But how many of us are guilty of running in the right direction at the wrong speed? How many of us are guilty at running in the right direction at the wrong speed, too slow or too fast, rarely on pace? The Proverbs writer says, ponder that, reconsider that, to adjust accordingly, to get on God's pace. I've learned this. I've learned that it's one thing to obey God's will, and it's another thing sometimes to obey God's timeline. And a lot of Christians will say yes to his will, but will not say yes to his timeline. And more often than not, we are rushing past the timeline of God. And this is what I've learned in my life. Anytime I've rushed God and worked and kind of, if you will, cheated on and manipulated to get what I wanted sooner, I usually lost it just as soon. Can I get a witness that if you get it too early, okay, you won't have the character and competency you need to sustain the blessing that God gave you? It's one thing to say yes to his will. It's another thing to say yes to his timeline. My mama used to make soup every winter. And it would be a tomato-based soup, and she'd basically get all the frozen leftovers from the freezer. So it'd be peas and corn, it'd be peppers and rice, and be some old turkey legs. Maybe she get some crawfish in there, and she get some okra and peas and all the stuff. And my mom would just make me stir that soup, I'm telling you, all day, to the point where my arms are tired. I'm like, Mama, it smells good. Why can't we just do it? And she would come and say, baby, you got to keep stirring it all day, because what happens is all of that okra and all that corn and all that turkey starts to bounce off one another. And every time it bounces off one another, it releases more flavor. And honey, this is what I want you to tell you. Good flavor is never fast. Good flavor is never fast. The whole idea is this: learn what it means to say yes to his will, but also yes to his timeline. What God has for you, he has for you. And can I speak something else? When God has for you is when God has for you. That's all for today, y'all. I'll see you next time.